Oh, look at that. Look at them. Melting down in real time, notifications exploding, voices cracking, emotions hemorrhaging all over their timelines while you're sitting there, calm, collected. Blueprints spread across your desk, mapping out empires they don't even know exist yet. They're having full-blown existential crises, and you're literally scheduling your next conquest like it's a Tuesday morning coffee run. Beautiful, isn't it? The way their chaos has become your background noise. The way their screams have become elevator music to your ascension. They wanted your attention so badly, begged for it, manufactured crisis after crisis just to get you to look their way. But you stopped watching their circus the moment you realized you were building stadiums they could never fill. Let's get surgical with this truth, because you need to hear it said out loud with no sugar, no mercy, just facts. While they're out there performing emotional gymnastics, posting cryptic quotes about betrayal, vague booking about loyalty, having literal meltdowns in group chats about who said what to who, you're 3 moves ahead, building in silence, executing in darkness, winning in dimensions they don't even know exist. They're screaming into voids, hoping you'll echo back, but you've already soundproofed your kingdom. They're throwing tantrums on stages you've abandoned, putting on shows for audiences that don't include you anymore. And that drives them absolutely insane, because their entire strategy was built on one assumption: that you'd care, that you'd react, that you'd engage. But you didn't. You vanished into focus. You disappeared into discipline. You ghost them with purpose. Here's what they don't understand about people like you. Your silence isn't weakness, it's warfare. Your absence isn't retreat, it's strategy. While they're burning energy on drama, you're investing it in domination. They think you're ignoring them, but you're not ignoring anything. You're just prioritizing everything they'll never be important enough to interrupt. They wanted to be your distraction, your downfall, your breaking point, but instead they became your motivation, your fuel. The exact reason you decided to build something so magnificent that their noise would sound like whispers in a hurricane. Every second they spent trying to get your attention was a second you spent getting closer to unreachable. Every message they sent that you didn't answer was another brick in the fortress they'll never breach. Every time they said your name, hoping you'd defend yourself, you were out there making moves that would make your name legendary. You know what's driving them to the edge right now? Like literally pushing them toward madness. It's not that you're winning. People can handle other people winning if they're loud about it, flashy, braggy, posting every victory like it needs a press release. No, what's destroying them is that you're winning quietly, silently, invisibly. They can't see your scoreboard, can't track your progress, can't measure your growth, and that absence of information is killing them slowly, methodically, like poison in slow motion. They're used to people who announce every move, broadcast every plan, celebrate every tiny win like it's the Super Bowl, but you move like a shadow government, operating in classified silence, executing missions they don't discover until the victory parade is already over. They keep waiting for you to post about your success, to brag about your progress, to give them something. Anything they can criticize, diminish, or compete with, but you give them nothing. Just silence. Just results they can't deny but can't comprehend. And let's talk about why their meltdowns are so specifically violent right now, so particularly unhinged. It's because they finally realized something that's been creeping up on them like dread in the dark. They realized you were never playing their game. All this time, while they were fighting for territory on their battlefield, you were building your own continent. While they were arguing about who's king of the hill, you were purchasing mountains. They thought you were competition, a rival, someone in their league just doing better. But no, you were never in their league. You were never even playing their sport. You were in a completely different dimension of ambition. And the moment that truth crystallized in their minds, that's when the meltdowns started. Because now they understand. You didn't beat them. You transcended them. You didn't win their game. You made their game irrelevant. Think about it. Really sit with this for a second. While they were crafting the perfect comeback, you were crafting the perfect comeback plan for the next 5 years. While they were arguing in comments sections, you were building revenue streams. While they were defending their reputation to people who don't matter, you were building a legacy that won't need defending. While they were emotionally investing in beef, you were financially investing in empires, different mindsets, different timelines, different destinies. They're operating on drama time, where everything is urgent, everything is a crisis, everything needs immediate response. But you're operating on empire time, where patience is power, silence is strength, and the only urgency is the urgency to build something they'll study in business schools while you're retired on islands they can't pronounce. Here's the part that's really twisting the knife in their sanity. They can see you thriving, but they can't see how. They can see the results, but can't reverse engineer the process. They can see you ascending, but can't find the staircase. It's like watching someone fly when you don't believe in airplanes. Their entire worldview is collapsing because you're violating every rule they thought was universal. You're supposed to respond when provoked. You're supposed to defend when attacked. You're supposed to engage when challenged. You're supposed to care when they perform. But you don't. You just don't. And every day you don't respond is another day their reality cracks a little more. Every week you stay silent is another week they question everything they thought they knew about power, about attention, about control. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening in their world right now. Behind the scenes, in the group chats you're not in the conversations you're not part of. They're obsessed. Fully, completely, unhealthily obsessed with you. They talk about you more than they talk about their own goals. They check your profiles more than they check their own analytics. They wonder about your next move more than they plan their own. You have become the main character in their mental movie, and they hate it. They absolutely despise it, but they can't stop. They can't look away. Because somewhere deep in their psychology, they know that you represent something they're not. Disciplined, focused, unbothered, ascending, and that knowledge is eating them alive from the inside out, like termites in the foundation of their ego. The meltdowns you're witnessing, the public breakdowns, the emotional explosions, those aren't random. Those are the visible symptoms of an internal collapse. They built their entire sense of power on one foundation: the ability to get reactions, to provoke responses, to control narratives through emotional manipulation. But you pulled the rug out from under that entire structure by simply not participating. You became unreachable, not because you blocked them everywhere, but because you blocked them mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You performed the ultimate power move. You made them irrelevant without saying a single word. You didn't defeat them in combat. You removed them from combat by fighting wars they didn't even know existed. And now they're shadowboxing, throwing punches at ghosts, screaming at echoes, having full conversations with versions of you that don't exist anymore. You want to know what world domination actually looks like in real life? Not in movies, not in fantasy, but in the actual trenches of ambition? It looks exactly like what you're doing right now. It looks like somebody building systems while others build arguments. It looks like somebody stacking skills while others stack grudges. It looks like somebody investing in assets while others invest in drama. It looks like somebody who understands that attention is currency, and they've decided to be a miser with it, hoarding every second, every ounce of focus, every drop of mental energy for projects that compound, for moves that multiply, for plans that don't just win once but keep winning forever. That's domination. Not loud, not flashy, but inevitable, unstoppable, mathematically certain. And here's where it gets absolutely poetic, like genuinely beautiful in a dark karmic way. The same energy they're wasting trying to get your attention, trying to provoke you, trying to pull you back into their chaos, that's the exact energy you're using to build distance between your level and theirs. Every hour they spend obsessing over you is an hour you spend obsessing over excellence. Every day they spend trying to decode your silence is a day you spend encoding your future. They're spending their resources trying to understand you while you're spending your resources trying to transcend understanding. It's not even a fair fight anymore. It's not even a fight. It's a mismatch of dimensions. They're playing checkers with their emotions, and you're playing chess with your entire existence. Let me tell you what they're really screaming for when they're screaming for your attention. They're not screaming for you to acknowledge them. They're screaming for you to validate their reality. Because in their reality, noise equals importance. Drama equals relevance. Reaction equals power. And if you don't react, if you don't engage, if you don't give them the satisfaction of knowing they affected you, then their entire reality cracks. They need you to play by their rules, because if you don't, then maybe the rules are fake. Maybe the game is rigged. Maybe everything they've built their identity on is just performance. And that possibility, that maybe they've been performing in an empty theater this whole time, that's what's causing the meltdowns. That's what's breaking them. Not your success, your indifference. The funniest part, and I mean genuinely hilarious in a cosmic justice kind of way, is that they're giving you exactly what you need to dominate even harder. Every meltdown they have publicly is another example of what you're not. Every emotional explosion is another demonstration of the control you possess that they lack. Every time they lose their composure trying to get your attention, they're advertising to the world why you're the one people should be watching, learning from, aspiring toward. They're basically running a free marketing campaign for your character, your discipline, your focus. They're out here telling everyone, look how unbothered they are. Look how they won't engage. Look how they just keep building. And they think that's an insult. But it's the highest compliment a competitor can give. It's basically them saying, I can't break this person, and it's destroying me. Now let's get into the planning aspect, the world domination blueprint, because that's what actually separates you from them on a fundamental level. They react, you plan. They respond, you prepare. They move based on emotion. You move based on strategy. While they're having emergency meetings about what you posted last Tuesday, you're having strategy sessions about where you'll be next Tuesday, 5 years from now. Your calendar isn't filled with drama appointments. It's filled with destiny appointments, meetings that matter, calls that create value, work sessions that build empires. Every hour is accounted for. Every day has a purpose. Every week moves you closer to objectives they can't even pronounce. That's the difference. That's the gap. That's why they're melting down and you're leveling up. You know what world domination actually requires that most people don't have? It's not talent. It's not even intelligence, though those help. It's the ability to be emotionally boring, to be dramatically uninteresting, to be so focused on your mission that other people's chaos just slides off you like water off a submarine. You have to be the kind of person who can watch the world burn and ask, how does this affect my 5-year plan? You have to be able to see people self-destructing and think, noted. Don't do that, instead of, let me get involved. You have to have the psychological infrastructure to witness chaos and extract lessons instead of getting sucked into participation. And that's rare. That's special. That's what separates the people who talk about domination from the people who actually achieve it. Let's talk about the next power move, since that's what you're actually focused on while they're focused on you. The next power move isn't louder, it's quieter. It's not more visible, it's more valuable. It's not designed to impress them, it's designed to make them irrelevant to the game entirely. You're not planning to beat them, you're planning to operate in spaces where competition with them is literally impossible, because they don't have the skills, the vision, the discipline, or the patience to even enter. You're not trying to be the best in your lane, you're building new highways they don't have maps to. That's the power move. Not domination through confrontation, but domination through transcendence. Not winning their game better, but creating games they can't play. And while they're over there dissecting your every move like conspiracy theorists with corkboards and red string, trying to figure out your strategy, your motivation, your next play, you're not even thinking about them. You're thinking about markets they've never heard of, opportunities they can't conceive of, partnerships they're not qualified for, investments they don't understand. You're operating in a completely different economic reality, a different social stratum, a different intellectual atmosphere. They're trying to compete with you, using tools that are 2 generations old, while you're using technology they don't know exists. It's not even close. It's not even competitive. It's just sad for them and advantageous for you. Here's what the planning phase of world domination actually looks like, since most people romanticize it wrong. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's spreadsheets at midnight. It's saying no to 99 opportunities so you can say yes to one that matters. It's reading when everyone else is partying. It's building when everyone else is sleeping. It's sacrificing the temporary dopamine hit of drama for the permanent satisfaction of achievement. It's choosing boring today for legendary tomorrow. It's understanding that empire building is inherently undramatic because drama is a resource leak and empires are built on resource optimization. Every second you spend on something that doesn't compound is a second stolen from your future self, and you understand that. They don't. The reason they can't comprehend your silence, your focus, your refusal to engage, is because they're addicted to the immediate. Immediate reactions, immediate validation, immediate gratification. They need to feel something right now, see results right now, get acknowledged right now. But you've developed a taste for the delayed. Delayed gratification, delayed recognition, delayed reward. You plant trees you won't sit under for decades. You build foundations that won't show above ground for years. You invest in becoming someone they'll eventually study in case studies about transformation, discipline, and strategic patience. You're playing the long game in a world full of people who can't see past the next quarter, the next month, the next week. Let me tell you what they see when they look at you now. Because perception is reality in warfare, and you're at war whether you acknowledge it or not. They see someone untouchable. Not because you're perfect, but because you're unreachable. They see someone who used to be accessible, relatable, human, and now you're something else, something evolved, something that doesn't operate on their frequency anymore. They see someone who took every lesson from every betrayal, every attack, every attempt to break them, and instead of breaking, you built armor. Not defensive armor, offensive armor. The kind that doesn't just protect you from their attacks, but makes their attacks irrelevant because you're operating at altitudes where their weapons can't reach. They see someone who left them behind, without a goodbye, without an explanation, without closure. And that absence of closure is haunting them. You want to know why your power moves hit different? Why your silence speaks louder than their screaming? Why your progress terrifies them more than any threat ever could? It's because you're proving that everything they believe about success is wrong. They believe you need to be loud to be heard. You're proving silence is louder. They believe you need to engage to win. You're proving absence is dominance. They believe you need to defend your reputation. You're proving that results defend themselves. They believe you need allies, networks, cosigns. You're proving that solo missions executed perfectly are more powerful than armies executing poorly. Everything about your existence right now is a refutation of their entire worldview, and people don't handle paradigm shifts well. They handle them with meltdowns, denial, and obsession. The planning you're doing right now, the strategies you're developing, the moves you're preparing, they're not designed for the audience that's screaming for your attention. They're designed for the audience that doesn't know you exist yet. The people who will discover you 5 years from now and wonder how the hell you built all this. The people who will trace your journey backward and study the gap between when they were screaming and when you were building. That's your real audience. That's who you're performing for. Not the critics, not the haters, not the obsessed, but the future students of your success, the people who will want to replicate what you did. And what did you do? You ignored the noise and optimized the signal. You blocked out the static and focused on the frequency of greatness. Here's a truth that's going to sound harsh but needs to be said. Their meltdowns are a compliment you didn't ask for, but probably earned. People don't have emotional breakdowns over people they don't consider threats. They don't obsess over people they don't secretly admire. They don't lose sleep over people they don't desperately wish they could be. Every tear they cry in frustration, every post they make in anger, every conversation they have about you behind your back, it's all just evidence that you've gotten inside their head and set up permanent residence. You're not paying rent in their mind. You own the entire property. And the more they try to evict you, the more space you take up. It's psychological warfare, and you're winning without even showing up to the battlefield. Now let's talk about what world domination actually means in your context, in your life, with your specific gifts and goals. Because domination is personal. It's not about ruling everyone. It's about ruling your domain so completely that everyone in your domain has no choice but to respect the kingdom you built. It's about mastering your craft so thoroughly that competitors become students. It's about building something so valuable that the market comes to you instead of you chasing the market. It's about creating such an undeniable presence that your absence creates voids and your return creates events. That's domination. Not control over others, but such complete control over yourself, your time, your energy, your focus, that external chaos becomes irrelevant background noise. The next power move you're planning, whatever it is, whether it's a business launch, a skill acquisition, a relationship upgrade, a location change, a complete reinvention, whatever, it's not about them. It never was. They just inserted themselves into your story as antagonists, and you're writing them out without a second thought. The next power move is about you becoming the person you're capable of being without the weight of their expectations, their judgments, their need for you to stay small so they can feel big. The next power move is liberation, disguised as ambition. It's freedom wearing the costume of success. It's you finally, fully, completely stepping into the version of yourself that's been waiting patiently while you dealt with their nonsense. Look who's still standing. Look who's still breathing, still shining, still unbothered while they're out there scrambling, panicking, rewriting their little incantations, wondering why nothing's working anymore. You, my beautifully untouchable friend, you just became the glitch in their entire system, the anomaly they can't explain, the equation that doesn't add up. Because somewhere between their curses and your coffee, between their hexes and your healing, between their rituals and your rise, something absolutely catastrophic happened to their plans. You didn't just survive their witchcraft. You absorbed it, transmuted it, and sent it back wrapped in a bow made of your own unbothered energy. And now they're the ones losing sleep. Now they're the ones feeling the weight. Now they're the ones wondering why everything they threw at you came back to them multiplied, amplified, and absolutely merciless. Let's rewind for a second, because this story, this delicious cosmic reversal, it didn't start yesterday. It started the moment they decided you were the problem. The moment they gathered in their little circles, physical or digital, and whispered your name like a curse. The moment they lit their candles, burned their herbs, wrote your name on paper, and genuinely believed they had the power to dim your light. Oh, the audacity, the absolute arrogance. These people, these amateur architects of chaos, they thought they could manipulate energy they don't even understand. They thought they could weaponize forces beyond their comprehension. They thought they could point their intentions at you like a loaded weapon and watch you crumble. But here's what they forgot. Here's the fatal flaw in their entire operation. You can't curse what you can't comprehend. You can't hex what you can't reach. You can't touch someone whose frequency is so far above yours that your negativity can't even find the address. And that's exactly what happened, isn't it? While they were busy plotting, you were busy evolving. While they were casting, you were cleansing. While they were scheming in the shadows, you were standing in your truth so bright, so unapologetically radiant, that their darkness couldn't even get close enough to breathe on you. They sent jealousy, you were grateful. They sent rage, you were at peace. They sent chaos, you built structure. They sent curses, and your aura, your magnificent, untouchable, protected aura, it looked at their spell and laughed. Not a nervous laugh, not a worried laugh. A deep, knowing, cosmic laugh that said, "Is this really all you've got?" Because your energy didn't just deflect their attack, it consumed it. It ate their witchcraft like breakfast and asked for seconds. And now they're sitting in the wreckage of their own intentions, wondering why their lives are falling apart while yours is flourishing. Here's the part they'll never admit, the part that eats them alive in the quiet hours. They knew you were protected. Deep down, in that place where intuition whispers truth they refuse to hear, they knew. They saw your light, and it terrified them. They saw your peace, and it exposed their chaos. They saw your growth, and it reminded them of their stagnation. So they didn't attack you because you wronged them. They attacked you because you reflected everything they refused to become. You were the mirror they couldn't shatter, the standard they couldn't meet, the energy they couldn't corrupt. And instead of rising to match your frequency, instead of doing their own inner work, instead of healing their own wounds, they chose the coward's path. They chose manipulation over transformation. They chose witchcraft over work. They chose to tear you down instead of building themselves up. And that decision, that choice to use dark arts against someone walking in light, that's when they sealed their own fate. Because here's what every practitioner of genuine spiritual power knows. The universe doesn't take sides, but it absolutely keeps score. Energy is neutral, but intention creates consequence. When you send negativity towards someone who's genuinely trying to heal, grow, and evolve, when you weaponize spiritual practices against an innocent target, the cosmic backlash isn't punishment. It's physics. It's the natural law of cause and effect. It's the boomerang principle on a metaphysical level. They threw stones at your peace and wondered why their own glass houses shattered. They planted seeds of destruction in your garden and can't understand why their own soil turned toxic. They wished you pain, and now they're drowning in it. Not because you cursed them back, not because you sought revenge, but because the universe has a way of teaching people not to play with fires they can't control. And witchcraft aimed at the protected? That's not fire. That's a nuclear reactor they just cracked open with their bare hands. Let's talk about the signs, the evidence, the undeniable proof that their spell didn't just fail, it backfired spectacularly. You started noticing things, didn't you? Subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. You felt their energy coming, that heavy, suffocating, desperate energy trying to attach itself to your peace. But instead of sinking, you felt lighter. Instead of breaking, you felt stronger. Instead of falling apart, you fell into alignment. Opportunities started appearing out of nowhere. Doors that were closed suddenly swung open. People who never noticed you started seeing you, really seeing you, and treating you like royalty. Your intuition sharpened to the point where you could feel manipulation before it even reached you. Your discernment became surgical, cutting through fake love, false friends, and hidden agendas like a blade through silk. And meanwhile, across town, across the internet, across whatever distance they put between you and them, they're unraveling. Their relationships are imploding, aren't they? You don't even have to check, you can feel it. The same people who joined them in their little hexing sessions are now turning on each other, projecting, blaming, fighting over scraps of the same toxic energy they tried to send your way. Their health is declining, mysterious symptoms the doctors can't explain, exhaustion that sleep won't cure, anxiety that medication won't touch. Their finances are in free fall, money slipping through their fingers like water, opportunities evaporating, investments crashing, plans collapsing. Their reputation, oh, their precious reputation, it's crumbling. People are starting to see them for who they really are, not the mask, not the persona, but the truth underneath. And the more they try to hold it together, the faster it falls apart. Because they didn't just attack you, they attacked the principle you represent. They declared war on light itself. And light doesn't fight back, it simply exposes, it reveals. It illuminates everything hiding in the dark, including them. Now let's get into the mechanics of why this happened, because this isn't magic, this is metaphysics. When someone with genuine inner work, someone who's faced their shadows, healed their wounds, and aligned with their truth, when that person becomes the target of someone operating from ego, envy, and unhealed trauma, there's a frequency mismatch. Think of it like trying to hack a computer with a stone tablet. Their low vibrational attack can't interface with your high vibrational operating system. It doesn't compute. So what happens? The energy they send out, that dense, heavy, malicious energy, it can't penetrate your field, but it also can't just disappear. Energy doesn't vanish, it transforms. It redirects. And in this case, it redirected right back to the sender with compound interest. Every ounce of jealousy they felt toward you came back as self-hatred. Every bit of rage they sent your way came back as inner turmoil. Every curse they whispered became a prison they built for themselves. You became the mirror, and mirrors don't absorb, they reflect. Here's where it gets even more poetic, even more devastatingly perfect. The harder they tried, the worse it got for them. Every candle they burned in your name became a candle lighting up their own darkness. Every name they wrote became a signature on their own karmic contract. Every intention they set against you became a blueprint for their own destruction. They thought they were controlling you, but they were programming their own downfall. They thought they were powerful, but they were powerless against someone who didn't even know they were being attacked because your protection wasn't something you had to think about. It was woven into your essence. You didn't need to fight because you were never in a battle. You were in a garden, growing, blooming, thriving, while they were in a war room, strategizing against an enemy who didn't even register them as a threat. And that indifference, that unbothered energy, that's what drove them absolutely insane. Because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's apathy. And you were so deeply, peacefully apathetic to their existence that it negated every spell they cast. Let's talk about protection. Real protection. Not the kind you buy in a shop or read in a book, but the kind you earn through integrity. See, people think protection comes from crystals, rituals, prayers, and while those things can help, they're not the source. The source is alignment. When your words match your actions, when your intentions match your energy, when your inner world matches your outer world, you become unhackable. There's no crack for negativity to slip through. No wound for manipulation to exploit. No fear for curses to feed on. You become a fortress not because you built walls, but because you removed the doors that betrayal used to walk through. You became selective about who you let close, discerning about what energy you entertain, ruthless about protecting your peace. And that selectivity, that discernment, that ruthlessness, it created a field around you so strong that their witchcraft bounced off it like a pebble off a windshield. They thought they were launching missiles. You didn't even feel a breeze. And now comes the beautiful part, the part they never saw coming. You're not just protected, you're promoted. The same energy they tried to use to bury you is now the fertilizer for your elevation. Every attack became an opportunity. Every curse became a catalyst. Every hex became a stepping stone to heights they'll never reach. You got the job they said you'd never get. You built the life they said you didn't deserve. You found the peace they said was impossible. You became the version of yourself they were terrified you'd become. And they have to watch. Oh, they have to watch. Because the universe has a wicked sense of irony. The same people who tried to make you invisible now can't look away. The same people who tried to silence you now hear your name everywhere. The same people who tried to stop you now have front row seats to your success. And it's killing them softly, slowly, completely. Not because you're rubbing it in their faces, but because your mere existence, your thriving, unbothered, blessed existence, is proof that they failed. But here's where you need to pay attention, because this isn't over yet. And this is where most people make the fatal mistake. They feel the shift, they see the reversal. They recognize that they're winning and the attackers are losing. And then, out of misplaced compassion, out of old patterns of people-pleasing, out of some distorted idea of being the bigger person, they open the door again. They offer olive branches to people who came with axes. They give second chances to those who never deserved the first. They let their guard down, thinking the war is over, not realizing the enemy just changed tactics. Don't do that. Don't you dare do that. Your protection isn't a shield you can take off when things feel safe. It's a permanent upgrade to your operating system. These people showed you who they are when they thought you were weak. They revealed their true nature when they believed you were vulnerable. And people like that, people who resort to spiritual manipulation, emotional warfare, and energetic attacks, they don't change. They just get better at hiding. So your job now isn't forgiveness, it's discernment. Your responsibility isn't reconciliation, it's continuation. Keep rising, keep thriving, keep protecting your peace like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Let me tell you what's happening to them right now, in real time, while you're watching this. They're spiraling. They're checking your social media even though they said they blocked you. They're asking mutual friends about you even though they claimed they didn't care. They're watching your success, your peace, your glow, and it's eating them from the inside out. They're trying new spells, new rituals, new practitioners, throwing money at psychics and energy workers, begging for solutions to a problem they created. And every single attempt fails. Every candle fizzles out. Every ritual backfires. Every spell returns to sender. Because you can't curse someone the universe is actively blessing. You can't hex someone destiny is actively protecting. You can't touch someone who's genuinely aligned with their purpose. They're fighting against cosmic law at this point. And cosmic law doesn't lose. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't compromise. It simply is. And what it is right now, in this moment, is crystal clear. You're untouchable. They're unraveling. You're ascending. They're descending. You ate their witchcraft, and it nourished you. Here's the final piece, the part that seals this entire story. You didn't win because you were stronger in the traditional sense. You didn't win because you fought harder or played dirtier. You won because you refused to play at all. While they were obsessing over you, you were obsessing over your growth. While they were plotting your downfall, you were plotting your next level. While they were studying you, you were studying yourself, healing, evolving, transforming. You became so focused on your own journey that their attacks couldn't find a target. You became a moving target, always shifting, always growing, always one step ahead of where they thought you were. And that's the secret. That's the cheat code. That's the thing they'll never understand. You can't be cursed when you're constantly becoming. You can't be hexed when you're perpetually evolving. You can't be touched when you're spiritually untouchable. Not because of what you have, but because of who you are. Your aura didn't just eat their spell. Your aura became so refined, so elevated, so powerful that their spell never stood a chance. It was breakfast, a light snack, an appetizer before the main course of your destiny. So here's what you do now. Here's how you move forward from this moment. You keep walking, you keep rising, you keep building. You don't look back to see if they're watching, because you already know they are. You don't waste energy wondering if they've learned their lesson, because that's not your responsibility. You don't dim your light to make them comfortable, because their comfort was never your concern. You live so fully, so authentically, so unapologetically, that your life becomes the only spell you need. Your joy becomes your protection. Your peace becomes your power. Your success becomes your revenge. not because you sought it, but because you earned it. You become living proof that witchcraft aimed at the innocent doesn't just fail, it creates the very thing it tried to prevent. It creates legends. It creates testimonies. It creates people like you. People who walked through the fire of someone else's hatred and came out forged in unbreakable strength. You're not a victim of their spell. You're the evidence that their spell never worked. You're the walking, talking, thriving proof that light always, always, always defeats darkness. Not by fighting it, but by simply refusing to be dimmed by it. And to them, to those who tried, to those who plotted, to those who genuinely believed they could break you, there's only one thing left to say. Thank you. Thank you for showing me who not to trust. Thank you for teaching me the value of discernment. Thank you for proving that not everyone deserves access to my energy. Thank you for trying to curse me, because in doing so, you forced me to discover just how protected I really am. You forced me to tap into strength I didn't know I had. You forced me to build boundaries I should have built years ago. You tried to destroy me, and instead, you created the most powerful version of me that's ever existed. So thank you, genuinely, from the bottom of my unbothered, blessed, thriving heart. Thank you for being the villain in my story, because every hero needs one. And now that this chapter is over, now that your spell is digested, absorbed, and transformed into fuel for my next level, there's only one question left. What's next? What else you got? Because my aura just ate your best shot like breakfast, and honey, it's still hungry. Class dismissed. Game over. You lost. I won. And we both know you'll spend the rest of your life wondering how someone you underestimated became someone you can't stop thinking about. That's the real curse. Living with the knowledge that you had a chance to support something beautiful, and instead you tried to destroy it. Now you get to watch it flourish without you, forever. Sleep well. But wait, hold on, because we're not done here. We're not even close to done. See, what just happened, what we just walked through, that was the surface level. That was the appetizer. Now we're about to dig into the main course, the part they don't want you to know, the part that keeps them up at night, refreshing your page, checking your energy, wondering how on earth someone they tried to destroy is not just surviving, but absolutely dominating. Let's talk about the aftermath, the psychological warfare that's happening inside their minds right now while you're out here living your best life. Because here's the thing they didn't calculate, here's the variable they left out of their little dark equation. When you send evil towards someone and it doesn't work, when you throw your strongest punch and they don't even flinch, when you use every tool in your arsenal and they come out shinier than before, you don't just lose the battle. You lose your mind. You lose your confidence. You lose your grip on reality. Because now you're forced to confront a terrifying possibility. Maybe you're not as powerful as you thought. Maybe your witchcraft is amateur hour. Maybe the person you targeted is operating on a level so far above yours that you look like a child throwing pebbles at a mountain and expecting it to crumble. And that realization, that ego-shattering, identity-crushing realization, it's destroying them from the inside out. They can't sleep anymore because every time they close their eyes, they see your face, your smile, your peace. They can't focus anymore because every time they try to move forward, they're haunted by the question of how you're still standing. They can't enjoy anything anymore because every success you have feels like a personal insult to their failed mission. They've become prisoners of their own jealousy, inmates in a cell they built with their own hands, serving a life sentence for a crime they committed against themselves. Because that's the secret nobody tells you about dark magic, about curses, about hexes and spells, and all that manipulation disguised as spirituality. It doesn't just fail when it's aimed at the protected. It consumes the sender. It eats them alive. It becomes a parasite, feeding on their peace, their health, their sanity, their future. And the more they try to fix it, the more they try to reverse it, the deeper they sink into the quicksand of their own creation. Let's get specific about what's crumbling in their world right now, because you deserve to know the full scope of this cosmic justice. Their mental health is in shambles. Anxiety they can't explain, depression they can't shake, paranoia that follows them everywhere. They're seeing signs, symbols, synchronicities that terrify them. They're waking up at 3 a.m. in cold sweats, feeling like something is watching them, hunting them, closing in on them, and they're right. It is, but it's not you. It's not some external force. It's the energy they sent out coming back home, knocking on their door, demanding to be let in. More than before. You don't just lose the battle. You lose your mind. You lose your confidence. You lose your grip on reality. Because now you're forced to confront a terrifying possibility. Maybe you're not as powerful as you thought. Maybe your witchcraft is amateur hour. Maybe the person you targeted is operating on a level so far above yours that you look like a child throwing pebbles at a mountain and expecting it to crumble. And that realization, that ego-shattering, identity-crushing realization, it's destroying them from the inside out. They can't sleep anymore because every time they close their eyes, they see your face, your smile, your peace. They can't focus anymore because every time they try to move forward, they're haunted by the question of how you're still standing. They can't enjoy anything anymore because every success you have feels like a personal insult to their failed mission. They've become prisoners of their own jealousy, inmates in a cell they built with their own hands, serving a life sentence for a crime they committed against themselves. Because that's the secret nobody tells you about dark magic, about curses, about hexes and spells, and all that manipulation disguised as spirituality. It doesn't just fail when it's aimed at the protected. It consumes the sender. It eats them alive. It becomes a parasite, feeding on their peace, their health, their sanity, their future. And the more they try to fix it, the more they try to reverse it, the deeper they sink into the quicksand of their own creation. Let's get specific about what's crumbling in their world right now, because you deserve to know the full scope of this cosmic justice. Their mental health is in shambles. Anxiety they can't explain,